Hi there. Yep, I'm here. There we go. Gotta get me focused in here. Is that... Ooh, yeah. That's much better. And welcome. I am Stíofán Séamus, and I'm a spiritual healer and advisor and an intuitive reader. As we live our lives, Spirit guides us to and through life situations that can be difficult to understand. It's up to us to decide if we will follow the path that the Creator has set before us or ignore all the signs and wonders this universe has to offer. Sometimes we are presented with a life situation where we need further guidance or healing to get through it. So as a spiritual advisor and a master Reiki healer, I connect with Source and channel messages and healing specifically for you in your highest good. Having love life issues? Well, let's talk and see what Spirit would want you to know about the situation right now. emotional, just not really understanding what's going on, or needing a little insight into your spiritual life, well, you may even be in need of a Reiki session so that we can channel universal life energy to help you realign. Or maybe you are debating a career move and need to know if now is time to make that move. Through our spirit's mutual understanding, we can seek out these answers. So, if you are so questioned, so intrigued to question, should I say, message me now and let me know that you would like to have a reading, and we'll get you in on the show here this evening. I'm so happy to be here with everybody, hoping that we can get some people. Ooh, yeah, I'm turning the wrong things down here. Woohoo! See, this is why I need a sound engineer, isn't it? Anyways, hoping that we can have some good reads tonight, and hopefully maybe have some good conversation even. Still don't have the camera. So, sorry. I don't know what else to say. That's which I'm sure you all are probably like, well, I mean, hey, you're doing fine and all this, but for me, it's just, I don't know. I'm doing my best to try to be professional. And so, yeah. Things will happen when they need to happen, right? Am I right? I'm right. I know I'm right because I'm right. I am usually almost always right. I think I have I haven't went back through and looked at all of the stuff yet. No, I'm sorry, I haven't put anything up in the past week and a half. My mind has been going in 1,000 different directions with everything that's been going on, and I tell you, it's times like right now that's really tough on people like us, because we get really emotionally and energetically drained, and let me just tell you, but I said this was coming. I said this was coming, if you remember. Nope. Thank you. Oh. So, I dropped a couple of Archangel cards, so I figured I needed to pick them up. Oh. And I didn't want y'all to see my fat ass. So, anyways, watched the George Floyd thing today, and I was moved. Very powerful message. And I know I'm going to get some people that are Christians saying, "Oh, but it wasn't a Christian message." Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you feel that way. It doesn't always have to do with getting saved and stuff like that. which I think that's there's a whole misconception there. Anyways, that's just me. A whole misconception of behind the phrase being saved or getting saved or whatever. So, anyways, I try not to get into that stuff because I get to talking on it and then I just don't shut up. So, yeah. Maybe I need to start another channel where it is just all religious and political stuff. Politi- Politorigious, relitical. I don't know. I'm going to have to work on the word. It's a political and religious. I'm trying to get rid of the and. Oh boy. So far it looks like we're doing pretty good. Been on the stream's been going for about 16 minutes, and we only got a 1% drop frame rate. So I'm happy with that. We can live with that. Oh boy. So, last night I said that I was going to do things a little bit differently in the show, and we are. But I'm going to take time to kind of go through some things. I feel like that maybe I should take on more of a educational more of an educational front to this, and start making some educational videos on the Torah, and make some educational videos on light workers, on Reiki. I might do a small course on like self-healing, Reiki self-healing. I don't necessarily want to get into being a Reiki teacher. I will share my knowledge, but it's just teaching's not really my alley, especially with something like that. It's I don't know. I just don't feel led in that direction. But anyways, there is a spread that I'm going to start using. This spread is from Christopher Hughes, and basically it's influence of the elements spread. So there's no outcome card. If one wanted to, I guess you could say you could have one that would be an outcome card, but there's not really, because you got, what this does is it looks at the different aspects of the question, like the different aspects of the situation that's being asked about. Okay, So, not necessarily a great one for relationships. Um, and that's off of Mr. Hughes's advice, anyways. But definitely one for checking that these different areas in our life. Okay. I do plan on. I don't know. I might go tomorrow. I haven't decided yet. And getting a new deck. I've scanned over some at Books A Million, and there's one that I've kind of circled back around to a couple of times. There's some of them that I'm just like, no. There's others that I'm like, it's kind of a maybe, and stuff like that. There's one deck that is exclusively for relationship readings that I've thought about getting. I don't know. But see, that's what this next deck that I was going to get. It was going to be kind of my relationship deck. And I just decided that maybe I'm not going to do the split deck for now. So that's okay. So anyways, I'm going to go over this tricycle spread. Let me pull my court cards out of this one. And then we'll have an individual excuse me, an individual type person. Yeah, okay. That's a thought. So bear with me just a moment here while I'm searching through the cards and separating them. need that deck. Do need this deck. And do need this deck. 14, 15, 16. Good. Okay, so we're going to do an ice reading on this tricycle spread while we're waiting for people to come in that may want to have a reading. So I always start out with the court cards for practice readings. This is what I call ice readings. They're practice readings. So I'm not reading for anybody. I don't have anybody particularly in mind. Okay, I'm doing it more of a person and then situation. So I mix the court cards up a little bit, draw me a court card, and see who our subject is. So our subject is a King of Swords for this reading. Okay. King of Swords. And then I go through and I shuffle the lower 40. The lower 40 is going to give us the subject. So if it's a wand, it is a career. If it's a cup, it's a relationship. If it's a sword, it's a spiritual. And pentacles is finances. Okay. Which finances and career can be very closely the same. Hello, Ree. So, give them a toss, cut the deck, and pull the card up. And we got the 8 of Wands. So this is going to be talking about relationship or careers, excuse me. So we're going to hold off on that for now. Ree, thank you for joining me. And were you wanting a reading? Okay, well, I'm going to guess that Ree is not with us now. So, we're just going to continue on with this. So, so we got the King of Swords that is in a, that's asking about a career, asking for a career reading, okay? So, as always, whenever I go to start these, start a reading of any sort, of course, you want to ask for protection, and you want to be sure that you're grounded and you're within your space, that you're within the power that is given to you, and not going outside of that, not trying to masterpiece anything else that may be outside of what you are called to do. So, but once you've made that circle of encampment, of protection around you, praying for that peace and understanding and everything, you're then going to get the cards, and you would more often than not have the individual to shuffle the cards a little bit just to get their energy in. I do a little bit different thing where I ask the individual to provide me with X amount of numbers depending upon the size of the reading. In this case, I'm going to ask the querent to provide me with 4 numbers between 1 and 78. And this is strictly for over-the-air readings like this. But asking the querent to provide me with 4 numbers between 1 and 78. Okay? And while they're coming up with those numbers, I'm here and I'm shuffling. And as I'm shuffling, either in my mind or out loud, even though out loud really is more preferred, because the vibration of you speaking the question out, it's going out into the universe. But a mental question can be good too. As the reader, your querent should state the question out loud. So what we're doing right now is we're shuffling the cards and we're asking the cards, what does King of Swords need to know about their current career? And we're doing that and really trying to focus that energy of the question into the situation that's happening right now, in the reading of the cards. Not necessarily putting the energy into the cards. So some people will talk about putting energy into the cards so that the cards will tell you, and I don't necessarily agree with that. That's just me. And here's why. Because I can shuffle these any number amount of times. An infinite amount of times. And out of that infinite amount of times, one time, the cards that you need will come up. But here's the thing with that idea, is that what we are doing whenever we ask the question and we're interjecting it into this situation right here, right now, is we are turning our minds to being open and receptive to the messages that will come from the cards. Okay? Because I would almost guarantee you that for everybody, for every situation, in every time, in every place, in every purpose, every single one of these cards will make sense to you. One way or another. So, and this isn't me, so don't get me wrong, this isn't me saying that I don't believe in the cards. I believe in the cards, but I don't believe in the cards that the cards have the power. I believe in the cards in the way that whenever we quiet ourselves, whenever we attune ourselves to accepting knowledge, accepting wisdom from Spirit, that whatever the cards bring up, we are open to hearing the message. And that's what this is all about. Being open to hear the message. If you're not open to hear the message, then you're not going to hear what you want to hear, and then you're going to walk away. And then you're not going to be happy. I've had clients like this. They say, I want you to tell me what the cards say. And that's just not feasible. So, anyways, so the King of Swords is asking about a relationship. I'm kind of stuck on that, aren't I? It's asking about career issues. It could be something like, is right now the time to be looking at a different career? It could be, what's the current atmosphere situation? I feel kind of lost about the things that are going on, and I'm kind of scared. I just need some direction. And so that's what we're here for. Now, after I've shuffled the cards and feel confident about it, with a client in front of me, I'd pull off 3 decks. And I tell them, okay, pick deck 1, deck 2, or deck 3. So, client says deck 2. I'm going to pull up deck 2. The other 2 decks I'm going to set off to the side. We have now reduced our deck size by approximately a third. Here's what I want you to notice, though. From here, I do a couple more shuffles. Why? Well, because I feel like that opens us up to a more thoughtful approach. Then and I ask the querent, 1, 2, or 3. Querent again says deck 2. We now have approximately 1/9 of the deck. So I take this small deck here and just kind of spread these dudes out. And they are sticking. And for this reading, I would ask them to pick 4 cards. For our purposes, we're going to take the deck. We're going to take the first 4 cards off the top. Four cards. So for this reading, this is set up in a spiral spread. It's called the tricycle. Christopher Hughes calls it the tricycle. So let me just run through that. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can kind of see why it's called the tricycle. It looks like, it's a tricycle. You got the front wheel and then the seat and then the wheels. Cool. So, here we have the tricycle spread. Also, it's a variation on influence of the elements. The first card is the card that's in the middle. And that card is the issue of the question. So, looking at this spread, we have the Queen of Cauldrons that's in the middle. Excuse me. Let me read you what Christopher puts down here. He says, this simple looking spread can offer immense insight into questions that require a quick answer, while not skimming the surface. This spread does not offer an outcome, but rather a narrative that responds to the elements that make up the question. Use this for general readings where the querent could benefit from clear vision. The first card represents the center of the tricycle, the place of the cauldron, the center, or the cup, the place of the cup. The center. This card will give an indication as to the nature of the question and its current position and significance in the querent's life. So, the card that comes up in this position is the Queen of Cauldrons. The Queen of Cauldrons, or the Queen of Cups. As a person, it's a feminine characteristic. They're earthic, they're intuitive, artistic, and creative. They're sensitive and compassionate. They're often a healer and a nurturing type. In business, could be somebody that's creative and intuitive and often compassionate and nurturing. But as a boss, they could be moody or melancholic. So kind of melancholy, okay? Or they could be too sensitive. Or unforgiving, okay? So it looks as though King of Swords is like, okay, I don't understand what's going on here. There's this stuff that's going on at work, and things just don't seem like they're going my way and all this. And the thing that seems to be at the center of the issue is possibly his boss. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. But the boss may be just kind of one of those people that's hard to get to know, hard to work with, just in general. Here it says, as a boss or influencer, they could be moody or melancholy. So there may be some stuff that's just like ooh. I had a boss like that one time. Very Queen of Cauldron-y type. She was strict, but then she's also very sensitive, but then at the same time she's too sensitive to certain situations. And she was just one of these people that makes you go So the next card in this reading is this card. This represents the materials. Christopher says the second card represents the land or the material aspect of the tricycle. So here we are looking at issues that are to do with physicality, money, possessions, and work. It's also what offers foundation and stability in the physical world. So the card in that position for this reading is the Two of Shields, or the Two of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles in a career reading says that this can mean that you're deciding between two career paths or two different jobs. Your soul is moving you forward. So here, it's talking about the work aspects of work, and the card comes up, the Two of Pentacles, and that's talking about that there could actually be another job in place that maybe the King of Swords is considering. Is it that he needs to stay there? Does he need to continue to put up with the Queen of Cauldrons at work? Or is this other path a way forward? The third card in this reading represents the realm of the sea, the emotions. Here you can glean what the heart is saying about the matter and how the querent is responding. Excuse me. and how the heart is responding. And how the querent is responding emotionally to the issue. So the card in the third position is the Eight of Shields. The Eight of Pentacles says that one is working in a job where one is using all of their skills gained over the years and becoming successful in the field. They can follow their passion now and build it into something that will provide for them. One may be doing something that they are good at to earn money and will lead to more opportunities. So, for this individual, maybe that other job that he's looking at, maybe it is a way forward. Maybe this is just kind of a stepping stone job right now, and he's been learning these skills over time, and now it's time for him to step out on faith and take what he's learned and apply it with another company, or apply it to his own company. See, that's just the thing, is we don't really know sometimes. And that's okay. The last card in the tricycle explores the realm of sky, the place of thought, creativity, imagination, and inspiration. These are the intangible things surrounding the issue. And the card in that position is card number 10 from the Major Arcana, the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune in a business and career reading says that there's new fortune that could be entering one's career path. But they need to be open-minded about how it unfolds. One should take the new job. It is part of one's destiny. And now we see how this comes together. See, Christopher's spread here doesn't give us an outcome card. But depending upon the cards, an outcome could be within. So for this individual, this King of Swords that's having an issue with their work, we've learned that their boss may not be the most personable type of person. But most recently, there's come a opportunity for a job. And it's very most likely the same type of job that they would be doing. Because they have learned skills and taken those skills and added it to their toolbox, so to say. So if there ever is a question of, should I take this job? For the King of Swords, absolutely. This is part of the King of Swords' destiny. So that's the tricycle spread, and I am going to be using that a little bit more now, because I would like to one thing is I need to kind of open up my toolbox of spreads a little bit, and element spread is great, even though really that one should be used for more like general readings. But anyways, hello, if you are joining us, please like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you'd like to have a reading, just shout out to me, let me know. Be more than happy to do a reading for you. So, let's see. I have been a very bad guide, a very bad light worker, and not been keeping up with a lot of with the moon phases and stuff. So if you would please excuse my unknowingness. I think that's right. Anyways, I will try to keep up with some more of the moon stuff and so on and so forth as time goes. My brain's just kind of been going 90 to nothing here lately, and I'm surprised that I am still awake. If you're here and you're just listening in, just to listen, say hi. I don't care. I ain't going to get upset if you're just here to listen to my crazy voice. I have changed shirts, if you're wondering. I am doing shirts by the Christian calendar year. So right now, the Christian calendar, they are in regular time, and the color for that within the church is green. So I'm wearing my green shirt. I just do that as a sign of. To me, I don't know. I feel like it helps me get focused into this whole being a minister and a light worker thing. But anyways, I'm sure I'm just talking to myself. I'm sure of it. Okay, I tell you what. Yeah, because there goes the next round of stuff. And then that one. I am going to do product. Anyways, I'm going to advertise some products here and just kind of throw these out there. The first one, woohoo, hey, there we go. Archangel Oracle cards. Great deck. Guys, look. Great deck, okay? Awesome deck. Very colorful edges. I mean, really. What I like about them, okay? Let's switch this. You got the name of the card. Then underneath that, you got a little description, so you can read the card, and then you can read the card. Okay. Anyways, it's a 45 card deck. It comes with a guidebook. Very great for beginners. And they're very well made. I've had these for a few years, anyways. And they're just nice. They're nice cards. Anyways, great deck. If you like that, there's a link to that in the description below. Go to Amazon, take you to Amazon to get it ordered, and blah 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 blah. Okay, this was my first tarot deck, the Celtic Dragon Tarot. I was going through cultural identity, and come to find out my family is along the lines of being Celtic. Even though being Celtic, it takes in several regions, so you got to I didn't know that until after I had done some more studying into Celtic, because I always thought that Celtic meant like Irish and all that. Not necessarily true. Anyways, Celtic Dragon Tarot. Great deck. Great storyline. It's definitely for beginners. I mean, this is a story for the card, and then this is the divisionary meaning. Okay, storyline, divisionary meaning, just great. Okay, also a link for that. This deck is my by far absolute favorite deck. The Celtic Tarot. Not to be confused with the Celtic Dragon Tarot. The Celtic Tarot by Christopher Hughes. Great author. Great illustrations. Great storyline. Great divisionary meanings. I mean, from cover to cover to page, is just great. I think I identified more in this writing with the cards than I identified in the other book. Not that I didn't identify in the other book, but this one I really identified with the cards. Okay. And that's a good thing whenever you're going to get into doing tarot, is you want to identify with the cards. You want to identify with the story. If you can't identify with the story and you can't identify with the cards, then you're going to have some conflict, I guess, if you want to call it, there. Okay? So, yeah. Great. Just awesome stuff. So, there's that one too. Then once in a while on here, I will do a ritual of some sort. Sometimes it might be Christian, sometimes it might be pagan, or Wicca, or it may be some kind of jumbled up mess that don't make any sense to anybody, but I feel led to do it, so I'll do it anyways. But this Wicca, A Guide for the Solitary Practitioner by Scott Cunningham. He's got several other books as well that's along the same lines. It's just that those others are like more advanced stages of this book that go into further details about certain things. His Book of Shadows is in here as well. Great for anybody that just wants to learn. Somebody that wants to start and be a solitary practitioner. It's just a good way to start in that. And like I said, even for somebody that just wants to learn. Say you're going through a divinity class and you want to kind of learn about modern Wicca and then some of the history behind it too. Boom, right there. There you go. I'm no joke, not kidding. I would over and over and over again suggest the read. There is a link to each of those products on Facebook and YouTube in the descriptions. So, seeing as though I don't have anybody in here to get a reading, I believe we're going to close it up for tonight. Unfortunately, it kind of makes me sad, but you know, it is what it is, I guess. So, final thoughts. Well, here's the final thought. No matter how bad things seem to be, always, and I mean always, keep going forward. In light and love, Stíofán Séamus, Guide of the Light. If you would please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, you can find me on Facebook, facebook.com/Guide of the Light. You can also find me on Twitter at Guide of the LIGH1, the number 1. I don't really check that or post anything very often there at all, but you're welcome to follow me there as well. I do thank you for watching. Be on the lookout for the next live show. If you would like to help make the viewing and reading experience more enjoyable, you can support me by sending donations to paypal.me/Guide of the Light. Every dollar that I receive will be spent in making the show better, so every dollar counts. I thank you and send light and love your way. The cards used in the show is the Celtic Tarot by Christopher Hughes and the Celtic Dragon Tarot by DJ Conway. Your intuitive reader is Stíofán Séamus. I got the names mixed up. The producer is Stíofán James. There we go. Thanks to the ones that have given, are going to give, and have nothing to give other than a review and a share. My heart and light goes out to each and every one of you. May the divine bless you all. In light and love, Stíofán Séamus.